व्यवस्था है हमारे यहाँ। जो आप अपने मन से जो करना चाहें वो आप कर लें, वो आपके लिए धर्म हो जाएगा और उसका आपको अच्छा फल मिल जाएगा, ये नहीं हो सकता। आपके लिए क्या कर्म है ये आपका धर्मशास्त्र आपको बतलाएगा, वो कर्म करने पर ही आपको अच्छा फल मिलेगा। इसमें जिसको बंधन लगता हो, इसमें जिसको अपमान लगता हो, इसमें जिसको धर्मशास्त्र के प्रति द्वेष उत्पन्न होता हो, मेरी दृष्टि से वे गलती पर हैं, वे भूल कर रहे हैं। क्योंकि अगर वैद्य के नाते फिर मैं एक उदाहरण दूंगा, मेरे पास 4 रोगी आते हों, एक को मैं गोली देता हूँ, एक को काढ़ा देता हूँ, एक को मैं कड़वी दवा देता हूँ, एक को मैं चाटने की च्यवनप्राश जैसी मीठी चीज़ दे देता हूँ। अगर जब तक मेरी नीयत साफ है कि चारों के रोग दूर करने के लिए मैं प्रयत्न कर रहा हूँ, जिसका रोग गोली से दूर होगा उसको गोली देता हूँ, जिसका काढ़े से होगा उसको काढ़ा देता हूँ, जिसको च्यवनप्राश से होगा उसको च्यवनप्राश देता हूँ, जब तक मेरी नीयत साफ है, मैं सबको अच्छा करना चाहता हूँ, तब तक आप मुझ पर पक्षपात का आरोप नहीं लगा सकते कि उसको आपने चाचन दिया और मुझको काढ़ा क्यों दे रहे हैं। मेरी नीयत खराब हो तो आप दोष लगा सकते हैं। धर्मशास्त्र या ईश्वर की नीयत में हम कोई खराबी नहीं मान सकते। इसलिए किसका कल्याण किस कर्म से होगा ये ईश्वर और उनके बाद ऋषियों ने जो हमें बताया है उस पर विश्वास करने से ही हमारा कल्याण हो सकता है। मनमाना हम कुछ कर्म करके ये चाहें कि हमारा कल्याण हो जाएगा तो वैसे ही होगा कि आप एक ऐसा हॉस्पिटल खोल दीजिए, सब दवाइयाँ पड़ी हैं, रोगी आए कोई भी दवा ले और चला जाए, क्या परिस्थिति होगी आप सोच लीजिए। जी ये फिर एक व्यक्तिगत प्रश्न हो गया। माने आप मेरे नहीं पूछ रहे कि मैं उस कर्म को जी
तुम्हारा जो क्या कर्म है, तुम्हारे धर्मशास्त्रों ने जो किया, तुम्हारे धर्मशास्त्रों ने जो बताया, तुम्हारा कर्म क्या वो कर रहे हैं क्या नहीं कर रहे?
इस प्रश्न का उत्तर मैं देने को तैयार हूँ। उसके बारे में एक चीज जान लूंगा कि क्या आपने मेरे बारे में जान रखा है कि मैं कौन से कर्म करता हूँ या नहीं करता। अच्छा, दूसरा ये कि ये जानने, मान लीजिए एक बात मैं बता दूं, अगर मैं उन कर्मों को ठीक से कर रहा हूं तो मेरा कल्याण होगा, अगर मैं उन कर्मों को ठीक से नहीं कर रहा हूं तो मेरा अकल्याण होगा। इससे ज़्यादा जानकर आप या ये सभा क्या करेगी?
बस
नहीं, वैसे मैं बता दूं, हम लोग आस्तिक हो, एक मिनट केवल आस्तिक होने का दावा करते हैं। हम ये क्लेम करते हैं कि हम धर्मशास्त्रों के एक एक अक्षर पर विश्वास करते हैं और अधिक से अधिक पालन करने का प्रयत्न करते हैं। 100% पालन करने का दावा मैं समझता हूँ इस युग में कोई नहीं कर सकता, पर मैं व्यक्तिगत रूप से अधिक पालन करने का प्रयत्न करता हूँ। ये आश्वासन आपको देना चाहता हूँ। ब्राह्मण के धर्म हैं यज्ञ करना, यज्ञ कराना, अध्ययन करना, अध्यापन करना, दान और प्रतिग्रह, 6 कर्म जो ब्राह्मण के बताए गए हैं, उन सबको मैं अपनी ओर से अधिक प्रयत्न करके कर रहा हूँ। ये मैं आपको विश्वास दिला देता हूँ। पर यदि मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ तो मेरा दोष है, हिंदू धर्मशास्त्र का नहीं। इसका फल मुझे मिलेगा, हिंदू धर्मशास्त्र को नहीं और किसी को नहीं। मैं समझता हूँ इतने से आपको संतोष होना चाहिए।
This is positively the last question.
To Dr. Zakir Naik, it has been quoted by Taslima Nasreen, as it is said, that women is your tilt, you may go as you like. Do you like to give any comment on this? Thank you.
I do agree that Taslima Nasreen, and I've read the controversial column in which she has mentioned that in the Quran it is mentioned that the women are the tilt. Sorry, it is not the tilt. She has not mentioned that. That's what the Quran mentioned. She has mentioned that for the husband, the woman is the farmland, not the tilt. The Quran mentions the tilt, but it is approximately the same meaning. She has mentioned that it is mentioned in the Quran. She does not give the reference. That for the husband, the wife is the farmland and you can approach them when you like. Along with that, she has said that the women are considered as properties. And she quotes the Quran and saying Surah Imran that the woman, the gold, everything are possession. The woman, the children, the gold and horses are the possession. Again, she is misquoting. She did not give the complete quotation. She was referring to Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 14, which says that the woman and sons, the woman and sons and the gold and silver and the horses branded for excellence and the farmland are possessions which a man is proud of. Which man is not proud of a good wife? Quran says woman, including wife and daughters and son. Which father is not proud of his son? Which husband should not be proud of his wife? And which wife should not be proud of the husband if he's good? So where is Quran talking that as though they're properties? And regarding the first question, that Quran mentions that the women are as farmlands. She does not give the quotation. Where are you going to find in the full Quran? Where does she mention where is it mentioned in the Quran that wives are considered as farmland? She is referring to Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 23. But for the exact answer, you'll have to refer to the previous verse. Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 222, and then come to 223. Verse number 222 quotes that when they ask thee concerning menstrual periods, I'm quoting the Quran, you can check it up. Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 222, when they ask thee concerning menstrual periods, tell them it's a hurt and pollution. So do not approach your wife during the periods. Approach them after they're clean. And any doctor will tell you that if you have intercourse during menstrual periods, it will hurt the wife, and besides that, it will cause certain diseases. It will be harmful for the wife as well as for the husband. So Quran is very scientifically based, telling do not approach your wife when during the menstrual courses. And then the verse continues. The next verse, Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 223 says that your wives are like the tilt. Approach your tilt when you like. And approach them in the way Allah has ordained you. Quran is saying don't approach in the time of the menstrual period. Otherwise, you have to be good to them whenever like, you can approach them whenever they like, they can approach you. So what's the harm in that? She misquotes as though women are like property. This verse is linked with the earlier verse talking about should wife be approached during menstrual period, and the Quran says no. It's a hurt and pollution for both. Hope that answers the question, brother.
Friends, we had a very interesting... Oh, I think we had enough. I think we should stop now.
Speech has said that if anybody follows secularism, there will be a problem. He is representing Sanatan Dham. That means you want to say Sanatan Dham by the very nature is fundamentalist?
No, I can't allow this question because it's already way past time. So we all sit... well, since the learned
my request to chairman is...
But make it a very brief answer.
That just we are talking about freedom of expression. There should be freedom of questioning also. Please repeat your question.
You were speaking, you said that if you follow secularism, you won't be able to solve any problem. That means you are representing Sanatan Dham. That means with the opinion or the view of Sanatan Dham, you want to say that by the very nature Sanatan Dham is fundamentalist. That means you want to go against secularism. Then how can you blame Muslim fundamentalism?
There are three parts of this question. Firstly,
2 minutes,
whether...
2 minutes per part.
All right. 2 minutes per part. Thank you. I thought 2 minutes for the whole question. Firstly, the secularism, the anti-word for secularism is not fundamentalism. The anti-word for secularism is theism. To believe in God, to believe in the world hereafter, to believe in the principle that whatever we are doing here, we have to answer somewhere. This is the principle against the secularism. So if we accept this principle, there will be solution for all problems. If we don't accept this thing, then problems will not be solved. I never said that fundamentalism is the solution for all the questions. Part 1. Part 2, I never criticized the Muslim fundamentalism in the way it's being done. If Dr. Zakir Naik is correct, the way in which he put the principles, that fundamentalism means that we should have faith and we should have knowledge of the fundamental principles of Islam and we should follow and practice it, then I 101% agree with him. This type of fundamentalism is always welcome. The unfortunate part is that many times every good thing is being misused. We should always know what is being misused. Whether Islam is misused, fundamentalism of Islam is being misused, or it is whether it is used properly or it is being misused. Anything can, even God can be misused. Even God can be misused. So the responsibility is of the person who is misusing the fundamentalism or misusing the religion. It's not the religion which is a block. It's not the fundamentalism in this definition which is a block. It is the misuse of religion, and misuse of what will not be block. Misuse of democracy, you are knowing what is happening. Misuse of secularism, you are knowing what is happening. And what was the third part of your question? Is it covered? Are you satisfied?
Yes, we are all...
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming for this program. In case any of you all have any specific questions to ask any of the speakers, you're free to let this program end, because I think everyone wants to go home.
I wanted to say the same thing.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much for attending. And